Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. Our teacher for this week is Sharon Salzberg. And the theme of our meditation today is surrender. Let's get into today's message. Danae, good morning. Very happy to see you. Hello. In a world that celebrates hustle culture and relentless determination, the concept of surrender often gets a bad reputation. We've been conditioned to believe that letting go equals giving up, that relaxing our grip means accepting defeat. But what if everything we've been taught about surrender is wrong? What if this misunderstood practice is actually the secret to unlocking our most empowered self? Linda, good morning. Sunbury, good morning. Hello, beautiful humans. The truth is, surrender is not about resignation or throwing in the towel. It's a profound shift in perspective that creates space for something extraordinary to emerge. It's the difference between fighting against the current and learning to navigate it with grace and intention. Imagine learning to swim for the first time. Your natural instinct might be to grab at the water, to fight against its fluid nature, to demand control over something that cannot be controlled. But here's what every swimming instructor knows: you can't learn to swim by battling the water. The breakthrough comes when you surrender your body to the water, when you trust that it is there to hold you, when you find a rhythm with its natural flow. This is where true empowerment begins, not from a place of frantic control, but from a place of calm cooperation with the forces around us. When we stop fighting the current, we discover we can actually navigate it with remarkable skill and grace. A few thoughts from Sharon Salzberg. She says, mindfulness allows us to watch our thoughts, see how one thought leads to the next, decide if we're heading down an unhealthy path, and if so, to let go and change directions. The next thought from Sharon Salzberg is, meditation has made me happy, loving, and peaceful, but not in every single moment of the day. I still have good times and bad, joy and sorrow. Now I can accept setbacks more easily, with less sense of disappointment and personal failure. Because meditation has taught me how to cope with the profound truth that everything changes all the time. And the last thought from Sharon Salzberg is, in those moments when we realize how much we cannot control, we can learn to let go. Surrender is about stepping out of the fear that keeps us splashing in our pond. Like water returning to calm clarity after the sediment settles, our minds become still enough to perceive what truly matters. It's about creating space for a new perspective, a clearer vision to emerge. When we are able to really see ourselves in the absence of fear, we recognize patterns in our thought processes, identify limiting beliefs, and ultimately, we make choices that are aligned with our authentic selves. Surrender is what allows the water to return to calm clarity. Surrender leads to seeing. And when we actually see, it's so much easier to know what to take action on. If you're ready, you can close your eyes and we'll float away together on today's journey. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in and out. A deep breath in and out. deep inhale. And let it go. Deep breath in and out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, also raise yourself up. As you breathe in, stretch out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, let all of it go. With every exhale, soften. With every breath out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and even drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, become aware of your body rising with every inhale. Become aware of your body falling with every exhale. In surrender, we become aware that our breath consists of two parts, a rising and a falling. The trap we often fall into is that we're conditioned to think we have control or should have control over everything. And that would be like thinking everything should only rise. Our breath reminds us that there is a rise and a fall to everything. There is an inhale that feels powerful. It feels like creating. It feels like rising. But there is also an exhale. It feels like falling, softening, perhaps even collapsing. While we are created to create, when we dig our nails into what we are creating, when what we create becomes so precious to us that it feels like we can't live without being able to show what we are creating. That would be like believing inhaling is more important than exhaling, and wanting an inhale to last forever. Our breath teaches us that as much as we can create and should create, we should not become trapped by what we are creating. We should be able to create and also completely let go. Because when we hold on so tightly to what we're creating, we don't become open to the next round of creating. We actually stop creating because we're holding on to the past. Can you let go of what you're creating as easily as exhaling? Trusting that at the bottom of this exhale will be the next round of creating. By letting go, I'm simply making space for what's next, instead of becoming trapped by what was. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down into as much comfort as possible for the rest of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward and roll out your neck muscles forward and to the left, forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big circles, nice and slow. Take a deep breath in. As you release, let's focus on our spine. See if you can tilt your head over to the left, while at the same time tilt your hips to the right, curving your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. Let's switch it around. Tilt your head to the right, tilt your hips to the left. Can you change directions? Head to the left, hips to the right. And one more time, switch sides. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence, or at least becoming as present as we possibly can be right now, we can now turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. With every next inhale, We'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, then this is always a good place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, we'll take the next few big breaths together. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body. Feel how softness slips into your body and settles in every part of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow through your body. Feel your shoulders slowly falling. Feel your body slowly softening. And feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself melting. Feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose is an invitation. It invites you to turn inwards and follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but hold it only for as long as it feels easy, followed by a really long, really slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, the reminder is the topic of our meditation today is surrender. What has been your relationship with surrender? And how has that relationship perhaps changed? Take your next big breath. The analogy in today's meditation is that of a pond. A pond in which we are standing. Imagine the water up to your rib cage, perhaps. Have you ever experienced what we could call splashing in your pond? Here's something that might be an example. When we fall into the trap of thinking that we should be trying to control things that are beyond our control. And the clearest example of this is that if we think we should have a say in other people's actions, and we should be able to stop them from acting the way they're acting. We should somehow be able to control their behavior. Could you think of other examples of when you fall into a trap of trying to control things that are not yours to control? Take your next big breath. Normally, when we fall into that trap of trying to control things that are not ours to control, normally when things don't work out the way we think they should, we tend to not back off and say, oh well, they didn't listen to me. We tend to try and force the outcome even more. This becomes a battle of wills. And the more we try and force, the more we are splashing in our pond. I want you to try and bring these two pictures together. An example in the past of where you have been trying to force an outcome with a person and feeling like all this creates is you splashing in a pond, causing a storm in your own life. Can you see that image? Take your next big breath. the more we splash in our pond, the more we only see storm. We see waves, we feel water splashing over our mouth, and it feels like we will drown. You can't see your footing anymore. You can't see where to step. And being human, often the fear of not getting the outcome we want makes us splash even more. Can you connect with an example from yourself in the past? How the more fearful you felt, the more you were flailing around, causing a storm in your life? Take your next big breath. The worst part of finding ourselves in the middle of this storm is as we look around, trying to find some sense of direction, some kind of clarity, we catch our reflection on the surface of this choppy pond. And when you see your own reflection in the middle of that storm, of course you're not seeing the real you. You're seeing this broken image, a fractured image. But when we're in the middle of that storm, it becomes easy to believe that this reflection is true. How have you felt about the reflection that you've seen on that choppy surface in your stormy pond? Take your next big breath. Of course, if we start moving more slowly, more carefully, then slowly the water will calm too. But sometimes when we've stirred up a gale force storm, sometimes what is needed is a proper time out. Stepping out of the pond completely, surrendering, sitting on the side, coming back to your breath, and surrendering to doing nothing. For the moment, nothing at all. As you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, remind yourself of what happens to the water in the pond when you get out. When you stop splashing, when you surrender. Take your next big breath. Can you trust that your true nature is just like water? When you surrender, just like water, you return to your natural state, calm clarity. And there is just no way of making it happen by putting your hands back into the pond and trying to do something to calm the water. But trust in your true nature. In the absence of interference, you return to your natural state. The water settles. The sediment, the mud, settles down. And again, you can see with more clarity where to place your foot next. But here's the thing about this clarity. We never get endless clarity way into the future. We might see a glimpse of where we can place our next step. And we may not get much more clarity than that. In fact, when we take that next step, we risk stirring up some mud again. Sometimes by trying, we muddy the water, which is exactly how life is. But more importantly, as you sit next to your pond, having returned to your natural state, when you look down at your reflection in the water now, you're given a much truer reflection of who you are when you experience yourself in a calm, clear state. Can you remind yourself during the next storm that the image you see of yourself is not real? It's not accurate. It's simply what the storm looks like. As you take your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, have this conversation with yourself. Tell yourself that you will remind yourself in the middle of the next storm, when the image you see is a broken, fractured image, you will remind yourself that this is not the real you. This is simply what the storm looks like, and the storm will pass. Tell yourself that. Take your next big breath. We'll take one more big breath together to slip out of the breath holding space and into the next. Take a deep breath in and hold. And as you release, feel yourself slipping all the way through. There is no more attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or even lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. One more time. Take a look at the image of you in this calm, clear pond. Remind yourself of what your natural state is. I know it can sometimes feel so hard to get back to this calm, clear state. Especially because it feels like we should be doing something, making something happen, and sometimes the only way we get back to this place is by completely surrendering and doing nothing. I'll read to you one more time. A few thoughts from Sharon Salzberg for us today. She says, mindfulness allows us to watch our thoughts, to see how one thought leads to the next, and decide if we're heading down an unhealthy path, and if so, let go and change directions. Every time we find ourselves back to a calm, clear state, it becomes easy to see how one thought leads to the next. It becomes easy to see where the splashing starts. Sharon Salzberg says, meditation has made me happy, loving, and peaceful, but not every single moment of every day. I still have good times and bad, joy and sorrow. But now I can accept setbacks more easily, with less sense of disappointment and personal failure, because meditation has taught me how to cope with the profound truth that everything changes all the time. With practice, we get better at realizing we're splashing. With practice, we become less disappointed in ourselves when we realize we're splashing. Now, the disappointment almost always makes us splash more. But when we get past the sense of disappointment, we can even have a sense of humor about the splashing. With practice, it becomes easier to just step out and surrender again and again. The last thought from Sharon Salzberg is, in those moments when we realize how much we cannot control, we can learn how to let go. One last thought. The breakthrough comes when you learn to surrender your body to the water. When you trust that it is there to hold you. When you find a rhythm with its natural flow. We'll take the last 5 breaths of gratitude together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning not to be disappointed when I find myself splashing. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning to smile at my own humanness when I realize I've been splashing for a while. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for finding it easier and easier to get out of the water. Bring my attention back to my breath. And simply trust that, of course, the water will calm down now. Take a deep breath in. And as the other part of this analogy, thank you for learning to trust that I can just surrender my body to the water. It is there to hold me. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for spending a little bit of time with us. Thank you, Linda. Thank you, Sunmary. Thank you, Charlene. Thank you, Danae. And Linda Lowe. It's good to see you. Hope you're doing well. Wishing you all a beautiful day. See you again soon. Please remember that those moments when we realize we're splashing, they're not an indictment. When we realize we're splashing, that's not pointing a finger at you. That's just an opportunity to get out and surrender again. Lots of love to you all. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.